Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Personnel Administration and Higher Education Committee meeting of February 29th. Happy birthday to my mother. She's celebrating her 23rd birthday today in heaven.
On the 29th, huh?
I'd like to call the meeting to order at 10 o'clock. Again, on Thursday, the 29th of February. A motion to approve the minutes of the prior committee meeting. Supervisor Ito and Supervisor Thomas on the second. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Privilege of the floor, public comment period. This is the opportunity for the public as well as other supervisors to ask questions and make comments. Anything from the floor? Hearing nothing, I'll move on to the agenda. I don't think that we have anyone from South Adirondack represented here today. Okay, so we'll hear from them possibly next month or during this during the month of March. Item number 2 is a request, items to be discussed by the Human Resources Director. Good morning, Jackie. Do you have anything to share with us?
No, I have my report was included, so if anybody has questions. I'm
Okay.
happy to-
Any questions for Jackie? Okay, thank you. Item number 3 is requested to be discussed by the clerk of the board. Amanda, can you take us through those,
Sure.
please?
So 3A, that's a request to appropriate $1,000 from the computer reserve to my office's budget to purchase a new laptop.
Motion to bring that to the floor, please. Supervisor Molino and Supervisor Ito on the second. Questions or comments for Amanda? I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. Item number B.
Yep, that's a request to amend the 2024 budget in the amount of $155,556.68. That's just to carry over the ARPA funds from 23 to 24.
Okay. Motion to bring Supervisor Thomas and Supervisor Bean on the second. Questions or comments? Supervisor Thomas.
Are these funds spoken for?
They are, some of them, we're just waiting for different things to come in so that we can send the money out with about.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Call the question. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimously approved. So moved.
I have just
Okay.
one not on agenda. So last month I had an item on, for Mr. Murphy, the coroner committee talked to us about some increased costs for services, and he's with us today. If you wouldn't mind.
Morning, Tim.
I don't know, we're given a new
If you could sit- I'm
contract.
sorry, if you could sit down in front of one of those speakers, that'd be great.
So we're given a new contract by the Glens Falls Hospital. I don't know if everybody has a copy of it and the facility use is 1,200. Now, I never knew what the facility use was. I think it might have been $1,000 previous, but one of the questions in which I had gone and talked to Amy about is an extended morgue stay. A lot of funeral homes, if somebody dies on a Friday, they'll say, well, I'm not gonna pick this person up. And they might come in on a Monday and leave the body there all weekend. Well, the hospitals now is gonna charge $275 a day over 24 hours after the post is done, the autopsy is done. And I came and I talked, I feel that charge, we should get a legal letter that I can send to all the funeral homes and notify them that if they don't come within the 24 hours, that they're gonna pay that $275 a day. We'll probably have to pay it But, you know, there's gotta be some way we can recoup that from the funeral home. Because a lot of times that's what happens. Somebody will die on a Friday or a Thursday. And we'll do the autopsy on Friday. And if it's a holiday weekend, a lot of chances are they won't come till Tuesday. And the hospital just does not want the remains to stay there in the hospital. Now, we haven't had that yet this year. I don't even know if did we get this contract signed and sent back to them? For the. Larry,
I can't tell you off the top of my
I
head.
brought it down to Amy, is it? I brought it down to her and did get a call on it last month about, and I told them I had a meeting. But there is a contract that's gotta be signed.
I'll look into it, and I have to look into the issue that you're raising as well, in particular, whether how far the county can lean into interfering between private contractual relationships. So for example, if I could have the month to have my team kind of look at the issue in a little more detail.
Yeah, I mean,
May not be as-
I just don't feel that, you know, if the funeral home, because they don't wanna come because it's a weekend. That the county should. You know, have to pay an extra $500 or $750 fee.
I'm not sure that, I have to see whether there's some relation or connection that we could compel a private company to do something
Okay.
that they may not otherwise need, want, or desire to do. So that's going to be a little
They
tricky,
Want to do. it.
and it would not be something I'm comfortable answering off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't want to do it, but, other than that, I mean, the fees, we really have no choice to pay the, you know, morgue fees. Because that's it, right now, that's the only place we can get autopsies done. Is right there in Glens Falls. You know, Albany doesn't do them anymore. So, you know, we're at Glens Falls. It's Glens Falls and Saratoga are the only two that he will come and do, and we can't bring ours to Saratoga. They don't have the room or the capacity. So that's what I have on this, and I do know that we have to get this contract signed and back to the hospital. But she don't have it or whatever, when I'm done, I'll make a copy of it for,
No, I'm sure
yeah, I brought it down, I brought it to her. So it's just a matter of, any questions?
Any members? Yeah, go ahead.
How much did you say it is a day right now? Did you say 120?
250, 275.
It's going up to 270?
No, it's not, it has been nothing.
Okay,
They've never charged us for, you know,
extended stays.
yeah, extended stay. And I'll be honest with you, the ones that are the extended stay are people that have been dead for quite a while. And what it does is it stinks up the whole bottom floor. Plus the, you know, the coolers and stuff to put other remains in and stuff, and it's not pretty. So that's primarily why they're, I think, doing this. But no, they've never charged us at all for extended stays.
Any other questions? I've got one for Amanda or Larry. Is this an item that we can get on the agenda for the 15th, or if so, what do we need to do in order to make that happen?
Well, I haven't seen the contract myself yet.
Okay,
So if there's a difference between the fees that we're authorized to pay by resolution right now and what they're wanting, we need another resolution to change those fees. As it is right now, we don't have anything in our resolution that authorizes to pay the extended stay fee.
okay.
So if we send those bills down to the auditor, she's gonna kick them right back without that amount on. So we'll definitely need to update a resolution. As far as Larry's part, though, I don't know that he can, if he has time to do that between now and the 15th, that's a pretty tight turnaround.
Anything's possible.
Okay, so we'll do our best, Mr. Murphy.
Okay, I guess I'm done then. And if you haven't seen, I'll leave one with Samantha and then you can look it over, okay?
All right.
You're all set?
I'm all set.
Okay,
If-
great.
If it doesn't show, if this doesn't show up for the 15th, we'll hold it as an item for next month.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay. Number 4 is referral from Criminal Justice, Public Safety and Emergency Services Committee. And I see that a few of us were at that particular meeting because we serve in that committee. Request A is the request to amend table of organization and salary schedule, create the new position of temporary part-time probation assistant, grade 7 base salary, $43,187. That's a full-time position effective March 18th, 2024. Motion to bring that to the floor, please. Supervisor Bean and Supervisor Ito on the second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. On to number B, coming from Sheriff LaFar. Request to amend the table of organization and salary schedule to create the new position of re-entry specialist, part-time, annual salary, $25 an hour, effective March 18th, 2024. A motion to bring that to the floor. B2 and Mr. Bean on the second. Questions or comments?
Are these positions that have suddenly popped up, or how come these weren't budgeted? Is my question.
I can only speak, I only remember B, and that was a position that the sheriff had put in there, had done a couple of presentations at meetings about this position. Mr. Mayday has more information. I know it was something that he had put in, he's been talking about this for a couple of years. Finally put it into his budget this past year. And saw a lot of merit in the work that a similar individual is doing in Saratoga County and other counties in the greater capital region. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I can speak to-
Okay, yeah, thanks,
I can
Bob.
speak to our position if you're interested.
What we have is we've, in the budget, we did budget for a vacant full-time probation officer or probation assistant position. We have not filled that. We're giving the civil service test in June. Results will probably come out September. So in the meantime, we do need someone to fill the position, at least on a part-time basis. So, seemingly we have to create this position for a part-time, but it is budgeted for full-time. And after a temporary part-time position, which will go for about 6 months, when we have the civil service list, we will fill the position part-time. I'm assuming delete the temporary part-time position and move forward. So it was budgeted. We're just looking to do a half-time at this point, and to do it, this is the mechanism.
Well, thank you for being here to explain that to us.
You're welcome.
I think maybe that should be a requirement here for some of these department heads. If they want new positions or want to spend a bunch of money, they need to show up at the committee meetings.
Good point.
Or we should deny it.
Approved A, but we need to vote on B. Okay. Any other questions or comments about request number B?
Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome.
Yes, Kevin.
B, when we were going over some of the health, not health, but mental health stuff, wasn't that brought up? Right after that discussion by Rob York, and then doing more to get these people back into society easier, and didn't the sheriff say that the funding would come from within his budget?
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
That's what I believe, but I thought, Frank, it was when the mental health discussion was going on after that, and they talked about, but I think he said that he was going to find the funding within his budget.
Right, that's what I thought I remembered.
There's been a couple of well-attended meetings, conferences, in the last 3 or 4 months, October, and then last month on recidivism and reports that indicate that, if you have this type of a position, an individual working with, the inmates, that the percentages of those who repeat, decrease dramatically. So. And they've been successful in other, like I said, other, regions of upstate New York.
I'll say that the sheriff was at the Criminal Justice Committee and explained it exhaustively, and I do think that the position will pay for itself if just 2 people don't reoffend a year, the savings to the county in so many different ways.
I think we have a motion and a second. I'll call the question. All in favor of approval of this, great disposition, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So moved. I had a request from, our county attorney, to do, number 6, county administrators, report before his, because we may need to go into an executive session if that's, the choice of the, committee. So we'll move on to, we'll skip over 5, come back to that. And, item 6, I think Tammy can take us through that. So.
Sure. So item 6A is a request to introduce local law 2 of 2024. It's entitled "The Local Law to Consolidate the Department of Human Services and the Department of Civil Service Administration and its functions in the County of Warren into a single Department of Human Resources, and to repeal local law number 5 of 2015 and authorize a public hearing." I don't know if you want to move it before I add to that, or.
Okay, yeah, let's, and we also have, 2 individuals, here to also, answer questions, if members think that's, necessary. Yeah, let's ask to move, number A. Do I have a person to move that, please? Oh, Supervisor Mayday and, Mr. Molino, on the second, any discussion?
I have
Oh,
some more to add if I could.
okay, yeah, okay, so that's on the table, okay, so, yeah,
Okay.
good,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Tam.
So for those of you that do not know, we have recently been noticed that our civil service director, our personnel officer, Trish Nenninger, has announced her retirement on April 19th. After 20 years of service, Trish, please correct me if I'm wrong. After, I believe, 20 years of faithful service to Warren County, she had, John has, once learning that Trish planned to retire, John, in his, as you all know, he has an extensive background in human resources. He had conversations with Jackie as our HR director and with Trish. Our current structure of 2 departments is unique in Warren and unique in New York State. Most of the counties have one combined department. These are 2 very small departments. I think we're talking maybe 3 people in each currently of each department. Aside from the cost savings that they thought we would experience, there is the ability to create efficiencies by combining these 2 departments. So John felt strongly this was the way forward. I believe he's had conversations with many of the supervisors about that, and that's where we stand today.
Any other questions for, or comments for Tammy before we vote on this?
Would that eliminate, you're combining, you have a group, there's 2 different sets of people down there, groups down there. I'm just wondering, and I'm not looking to eliminate, I'm just saying, would that hurt somebody that way or hurt the positions? I'm just saying, if someone's employed down there
Mhm.
working for Trish and the other one's working for Jackie, it seems to be 2 separate animals in a sense right now, right?
Right now, it operates as 2 separate departments. The plan is not to eliminate any of the existing
Positions, right,
employees.
right.
that are there, other than the position, the extra position of the department
Right.
head.
No, okay. I was just curious.
They've got plenty to do and do.
No, I know, I know
Yeah,
it's
yeah, they're
busy
doing well,
compared
yeah.
to, if you
Yeah.
went back 30 years ago.
Right.
It was it could be run by a smaller group, but I
Yeah.
think there's a lot going on there now.
Sure.
so.
This will make Jackie responsible for, civil service.
Not yet. Not yet. This local law is really the first step to make the two departments one department. I suspect the plan from the county administrator would be next month to offer a resolution for that appointment. For that next step appointment.
How does Jackie feel about that?
Cautiously optimistic. It would be a learning curve for sure, but we have time. So, and a good group of people down there. So, I think it's workable solution.
Maybe we shouldn't allow Trish to.
We'll pass a hat.
I am wildly optimistic it'll be a transition, but it will be a good one and it will go smoothly and where there are bumps will get through.
Okay, any other comments? I'll call the question. All in favor of number A, say aye. Any opposed? So moved. We'll move on to B and C are relative to A. So, Tammy, if you could run us through B, please.
Sure. I'm waiting for Larry to find the statute that I'm gonna put this under, but we're gonna respectfully request an executive session to
Under Public Officers Law, Section 105. The subsection would be F for the purpose of discussing matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person.
Geez, and we need to go into an executive session? Okay,
You don't need to, but that would be the request.
okay, all right.
Have the discussion.
How
of
does people
personnel
feel,
matters.
how do members feel about going into an executive session to discuss this particular matter?
But we'd have to vote on it.
Okay, so do I have a motion to bring that to the floor? Supervisor Bean and Supervisor Thomas on the second. All in favor of approval of going into an executive session to discuss this matter as discussed by the attorney? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?